Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah during Parsha Vayakhel. And we're going to learn about the 39 ways to relax on the day of relaxation. Do you need relaxation? Isn't life getting a little too fast-paced, too crazy? Well, there's the beautiful day, the Yom Menucha, the day of relaxation. It's the Yom, the Oneg. It's the day of like delight, of pleasure. It's Shabbos HaKodesh. It's the holy Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. It's the day of peace, the holy Shabbos. So how do you do it? If you're interested in learning a little more about Shabbos, or you just wanted a little quick refresher as we run through all the 39 malachos, um, turn it all off. Turn off the phones, turn off the computers, the laptops, the tablets, just turn off the electronics. And it's going to be nice to get away from the news. It's going to be nice to get away from all of the crazy running around, just going to be relaxing, nice relaxing walks. It's the truly the Yom Menucha. All right, so what are the 39 steps and how do we learn how to do this in the first place? Okay, so let me bring this up here. I'll bring the actual pasuk up. And let me see if I can find it here. Let's make some stuff go away. All right, so it's in Sefer Shmos, the book of Exodus. It's chapter 35 if you want to look it up. And we see here the second pasuk, second verse. So it says, Shesha Shemim Ta'aseh Malacha. So for 6 days, you can do this malacha. And what's malacha? Malacha is any kind of creation, creative activities, artistic activities, creating things in the world, changing the world. Uvayom hashvi yihya lechem kodesh. But on the seventh day, on Shabbos, it's gonna be a Shabbos. And the word Shabbos, it means rest. It means Shabbos Shabboson, rest of rest. It's gonna be a day of rest, La Hashem. And it's gonna be holy the day's gonna be holy to Hashem. And it's Li Hashem. This holy Shabbos is gonna connect us to the infinite creator, the infinite being. And then bad stuff. Don't don't do malacha. It's very serious. We can talk about that another time. All right, so let me stop this for a second. All right, so I found a really cool graphic. This artist, let me bring it up here. Let me see if I can find it. I think the artist here, let me bring it up on the screen. This is great. I love this. This is so creative. I think the artist's name, I have it written down here. His name is Anshe Kagan. I think he sells a lot of these products. If you want to support him, this is like the coolest thing. So he did a periodic table of elements for all the malachas of Shabbos. So these are the ways we can relax. These are the ways we start to push back. Now that Rashi on the pasuk, we just had Rashi says Sheish Yamim Hikdim Lehem Azcharis Shabbos Litzivoy Malachas Amishkan. So Rashi telling us, Moshe first he gave the warning, the Azharas. He gave a warning about not doing the Malachas of the Mishkan, not doing the construction of the Mishkan yet, and he mentioned Shabbos first. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses mentioned Shabbos first, and this is to teach us not to do even building something like the Mishkan, even building the holy movable temple, I think it's called the tabernacle that we had in the desert for 40 years, and not even building the Beis HaMikdash, the temple in Jerusalem, that this does not push off Shabbos. And Rashi says, Lomar she'eno doches a Shabbos. This does not push off Shabbos. So even doing something as holy as building the Mishkan, which the rest of the Parsha of Vayakhel is going to talk about, we're learning here that the malachas, these creative malachas, don't override Shabbos, even building something so holy as the Mishkan or the Beis HaMikdash or the temple. All right, so how do we pull back? What do we do? So you got to turn off the electronics. We want to get ready. All the food, we want to make all the food before Shabbos starts. We buy it all during the week. We wash the clothes, get the clothes all ready to go, set the table, get the candles ready to light, get the wine or the grape juice for Kiddush. We're all ready to go. Okay, so how do we start to pull back? How do we start to tap in to that Kedusha, the holiness? How do we start to feel the holiness, feel the Menucha? And it's these 39 steps. And we really got to pull back some to really experience it. So the first one is choresh and plowing, meaning like any kind of gardening activity where we're breaking up the ground, breaking up the soil, getting ready to plant. That's basically choresh. The next step is we don't do zorea, which is like planting seeds. Anything that's going to be good for making plants grow. We refrain from doing that. The next simple step is kotzer. Don't harvest. Okay, most of us don't have farms nowadays, but if you're, if you're blessed enough to have like some apple trees or you're growing vegetables around the house, don't pull the fruit off of the tree during Shabbos. Don't pull the vegetables up during Shabbos, but pull that fresh fruit and that fresh vegetables, pull it out before Shabbos and get it ready, and you'll have that beautiful fresh fruit on Shabbos. So the next step to the road to relaxation is this is an interesting one, me'amer. This is gathering like the produce together. So this is when they gather the wheat into the bundles. We don't do it too much. It could be like common things could be like putting a bouquet of flowers together. Don't do it on Shabbos. Make your beautiful bouquet before Shabbos, and you can have it on your Shabbos table. Like gathering fruit together, fruit fell off the tree, let's say in the backyard, just gathering that together. It could be, I forgot with leaves. I forgot, raking leaves together. Probably better to do, do it before, do it after. Okay, so then the next malach, and these are all, you see, these are all the certain categories. So the first 11 is going to be all the process of making the bread, like how to make bread. It's interesting, and it gives you an appreciation for bread and how special bread is and how much work really goes into bread. So the next step is dash, and this is threshing. So this is separating the wheat from the chaff. So a common example is going to be like squeezing fruit for juice. Well, it's interesting, like you could squeeze a lemon on a fish. If you squeeze the fruit as like a seasoning on the food, that's okay. This is a good one, like removing peas from a pod, like umami is becoming more popular. Don't do that on Shabbos. Just get those peas out of the pod before. Um, so the next step here is Zorah. Let's see. Zorah is winnowing. So winnowing is like throwing the wheat up into the air, and then like you could have like some dirt or particles in there, and the wind will kind of take it out, and the wheat's heavier, so I think the wheat will fall back down, and all the dirt and the stuff will fly out of it. Not so common, but like blowing nutshells away from your nuts. I mean, if you want to do that, don't do it on Shabbos. The old style aerosol cans did Zora. I'm not totally sure. There's different kinds of spray cans now, so some of them may be okay, some of them maybe not. This one, surprisingly, we do a tremendous amount. We don't think about it until we pull back. But the next step, the seventh step, is borer, which is selecting. So it's really if we take the stuff we don't want out of something we do want, that's borer. So you're gonna see it. We have borer a lot with like choosing food, like with laundry, different, laundry's all mixed up after we take it out of the dryer. You have a lot with the kids with toys. So one thing that's really helpful in borer is choosing what you want over what you don't want. So let's say you have like a nice cholent pot, but you're picky and there's only certain things you want. So take out the things you want. Don't push aside like some of the things you don't want. And it's good to do things by hand. Like if you want to select fruit, if there's like one fruit that you really, really like, just select the fruit that you like. Don't push away the fruit you don't like. Do it by hand. And then immediate use. If you're preparing it real quickly, for a meal, then these are all good ways to be able to pull back and not fall into the borer, the borer trap. You want your relaxing Shabbos. Tochein, this is interesting. So this is grinding. So it's basically breaking down the wheat into that flour. So no grinding coffee. Get your coffee pre-ground or some instant coffee for Shabbos. Grating potatoes. This one, maybe scraping dried mud off the shoes. Sometimes we run into that. Making sawdust. We'll see later. You're not supposed to be cutting, so not supposed to be doing construction on Shabbos. And cutting up vegetables, dicing vegetables very, very small can fall into grinding, but if it's just preparation for the immediate meal, then it can be okay. Okay, so let's see. So that was step 8. So now we're going to step 9, and this is Maracade. And Maracade's fun. Maracade is basically sifting through a strainer. So I don't do too much sifting through a strainer, but people want to make a finer flour. The bakers will do a lot of sifting. And we'll move on. Let's see. So lash. So lash is then we want to take that flour, make it into a dough. It's kneading. Lash is kneading. And it's mixing the flour in the water and making it a nice dough. And then finally, to make that bread, our final step here. So there's going to be 2 here. It's ofeb, it's baking, We're not going to bake on Shabbos, and it's also going to be bishul, cooking. So there's any kind of cooking, baking, roasting, all those are going to fall in this category. Now, what's interesting is so you can take any food that's dry and cooked and solid, you can reheat it. So if you already have a nice challah, you can warm it up on a hot plate. Um, you can like something like a schnitzel, like a breaded chicken. You can warm that up for a Shabbos meal. A lot of schnitzel is kind of common, for the Shabbos lunch. Cholent. So how do we make the delicious cholent every Shabbos? If something's left on a fire, or something was left on a low heat, so you put a crock pot on low and you have it turned on before Shabbos, you can just let it all, it's going away on that low flame that's constantly on before Shabbos. And that's an amazing thing. The cholent, it's a very special thing on Shabbos. So that's ofat or bishul. Okay, so that's our bread making. So let's see. So the next place we're going to go here is we're going to go to our 12th state of relaxation. We're going to go to gozes. So we're going to come down here. So this is going to be making clothes, a lot of like preparation of clothes. So gozes is shearing. So it's like detaching non-living parts from animals or people. So basically like not cutting hair, not cutting our nails, things like that. I mean, I guess if you have sheep in the backyard, don't shear your sheep on Shabbos. Stay away from that. And then next, this one's very common. So malabain is basically doing laundry, bleaching, doing laundry, washing out dirt, stains, dust, like doing laundry. So not even just like soaking clothes on Shabbos. Don't, you can start it before. Not wringing out clothes, which is interesting. So that's actually dash, a sechita. It's like a tolda of dash, of threshing. So just squeezing out the clothes is going back to that malacha of dash from before. Okay, so then let's say here. So menapates is combing, untangling clumps into separate strands. Just get that hair looking all nice and pretty before Shabbos. Then you can just relax. You don't have to worry about it. Let's see. So the next step here is 15 is sovea, dyeing, coloring. So changing or like reinforcing the color. Basically painting. It could be like oil-based makeups, crayons or spray paint or just painting things. So these are all going to be in the, just get that. You don't have to worry about the painting on Shabbos. Get it done during the week. Relax. You don't have to worry about painting the house today. All right, so the next category is going to be actually, next five are going to be actually making the clothes. So Tova is spinning. I don't have a lot of personal experience with these. I mean, there could be people that are into fashion. Making and designing their own clothes. Some people are into like cosplay and LARPing, and they make costumes. So just get your costume done before Shabbos, and you're ready to go. So let's see. So Tova is spinning, right? Twisting a strand of fiber into a thread. I mean, it's not something I'm dealing with so much. Common thing is just people wearing tzitzit. Sometimes they're becoming unraveled, and not to twist back the unraveled tzitzit into a single strand on Shabbos. Um, Masek, Masek is see, let's see, threading a loom. These are really foreign to me. I don't know. I guess people that could be into like knitting and macrame and all those mysterious things to me. But this is like threading a loom, tying thread from the front to the back rower. The next one, this is an interesting one. So it's number 18. So it's Ha'osa Shnei Bate Nirim. So in the loom, it's threading the loom harness, and it's two threads through the rings, and one is in each harness. If you see a picture of loom, sorry, I don't have a picture of a loom, but these are all loom-related activities, and it's all in the making clothes. All right, so then let me see where oreg is. So then oreg is our next set of elements here, malacha, or relaxation tips. So oreg is actually weaving, and that's pulling the thread and adding like a new row. If you're, I think it's like people who make sweaters and that kind of clothing, or yeah, really, this is really foreign to me. Sorry, I don't have a lot of experience with a lot of this. Number 20 is potseya, which is actually separating the thread, cutting and removing the thread from the loom rollers. Okay. Kosher, this one we run into a lot. So this is tying, making a permanent knot, making a professional knot. A lot of times it's like making a double knot. We run into it like tying shoes. So you should only really make one knot and loop in the shoes, not the double knots on Shabbos so much. And then matir is untying. So anything that we made like the strong knots on, don't make the strong knots and then don't untie the strong knots. And it's also it could be it could be like undoing like a permanent knot. Okay. So let's see. So then where are we at? We are at mat. We did, let's see, we did kosher, mater, and then why I may have a different order here. Okay, so the next thing I have here is Topher. So let me just skip to where it is. I have that a little later, so we'll come back to that. So Topher is, or unless I forgot to do that one. No, I have it a little later. All right, so Topher is sewing, basically attaching two materials together. It can be like taping or gluing paper together. It's interesting is Velcro is okay. And I'm not going to go so far into detail, but like a lot of clothing are Velcro, so that can be open and closed. Korea is tearing, it's like ripping apart material for a useful purpose. Okay, and then we're going to go into a new category. You have to come back to Mechatek. Okay, so then Tzad, I have number 25 here, is trapping. So something dangerous like a snake, any dangerous animal could be trapped or captured if it's going to endanger people. But things like if there's a little insect in a jar, not to close the jar and trap the insect in there, not to like chase animals into like a house or like an enclosure, not fishing, things like that. Okay, so then shochet is it's shechting an animal, it's killing an animal to eat for food. So there's a kosher way to shech the animal. And it can be things like don't put out the rat poison, like actually on Shabbos, things like that. If the animal is dangerous, people, have more leeway. All right, so then let's see. So mafshit is skinning, separating the skin from a dead animal. And one common occurrence is like you're allowed to take the skin from a cooked chicken. I like fried chicken. I don't always like chicken skin so much. So sometimes I run into this. So if you wanna take off that skin, you're fine. You can enjoy your Shabbos and take off that chicken skin if you don't want it. Okay, so let's see. So then after a maf sheet is looks like it's ma'abed, which is tanning, basically making leather and processing raw materials physically or chemically. So this is not making not pickling vegetables, like make those pickled cucumbers before Shabbos and they'll be delicious on Shabbos. Salting or spicing raw meat, so the preparation of that. Then let's see, mamachek. Oh, I must have, let's see, mechatek, cutting. Oh, I have that later, so that's interesting. He puts it in a different category. All right, so memachek is smoothing. So it's rubbing to reduce like the roughness of a fabric or a leather or to form a shape in it. This would be like common like applying ointment, like spreading around ointment. So if you need a medicine, you may just like want to just put it on and not like smear it all around. Washing with bar soap would be this, memachek. But you're allowed to like spread food. So like you can spread like cream cheese, peanut butter, butter on food. So that's perfectly fine, which is good. Okay, so then let's see, mishartate is marking. So outlining a surface, sharpening a pencil, like outlining something for cutting. So then I have mechatek. So that's interesting. So he had it up here. I had it down here. So mechatek, I had down as number 31. So it's cutting or altering the size or shape of an object. So like, for instance, like cutting paper. All right, so let's see where he goes into co-save. Let's see. So then he has it here. Okay, so then the next one I have is number 32, co-save. So this is writing. So writing, creating images, like drawing or painting a picture, etching designs, or like embroidering letters. So just relax from that on Shabbos. Mochek is erasing. So this is a tricky one, actually. You run into this a lot. Mochek is tearing around those letters on food wrappers is a fun game to play on Shabbos. Not trying to tear the letters, erasing erasing letters to write something, cutting letters on a cake. So if you have icing, if you have a icing happy birthday, a lot of people get around it. They have a little like clear like plastic strip, and then people will write the icing happy birthday on that, and you can just take up the clear plastic strip with the icing, so you don't have to cut the letters. Okay, so let's see. So then we're gonna go down to building here. Bona, any construction, building. So we're not doing repairs on house. This is going to get into electronics. So there's a machlokus is like completing electric circuit. Is it Bona or is it Makaba Patish? So it's kind of Malaka, but both of these are similar in some ways. So that completing that electric circuit can go into both categories in some ways. And then Soser is destroying to build. Like sometimes, like if it's an old dilapidated house, they'll have to knock down the house to build the new house. So it's a creative labor in a way of like destroying to build. So for instance, like if you had some old boards on your deck or your house and you want to take them out to repair them. So that's going to be the malaka of Soser, like not breaking a door. Let's see. So then Mavir. So this is one of the classics. So not lighting a fire on Shabbos, not turning on an electric light, because a light, even though it's electronic, it's creating the same thing as fire. It's creating energy. It's creating that infrared, energy, the heat. It's creating the visible light. So any fire, it's creating, light and heat. So an electric light bulb, and then it's the other issue of Bona building the electric circuit, and then mechabe is extinguishing to produce like a charcoal or just putting out a fire. A fire. People wonder about this. A fire can be put out on Shabbos to save life. Life. Pekuach nefesh. Anything to save life can override all of the malacha on Shabbos. Saving a life is more important, which is incredible. It shows you how important saving life is. That any instance of saving life, any emergency, is going to override all the malachas of Shabbos, and then everything has to be done to save a person's life. So then, right, we go back. I have 38 here, Makav Patish, the final hammer blow, meaning completing like an artistic creation of an object. So it's going to be things like, you may run into it like new shoelaces or opening like a stitch pocket of a new suit, things like that. Something that's going to make the item like final usable. And then finally, let's see where it is, Hotza, our 39th step of relaxation. We can now fully relax. We don't have to do any of these things. This is schlepping stuff around. It's transferring objects from one domain to another, from your reshus yachid, your private property, the reshus robbing the public property, just moving stuff around. You don't have to schlep stuff around so much. It's interesting. You can actually move like you could move a couch or a table if you need to move something like for a meal or it's like because people so associate it with like work, but it's really just creative. It's creation. It's just changing the world, improving the world. Okay, and then this is why there's the A roof so people can move around, the neighborhood if they need to carry something. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you follow these 39 steps, and you can experience the relaxation and get out of the crazy pace of the 21st century modern world we're living in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet Good Torah.